Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am VC Pramod and with me is Renu Kataria with the evening news. The headlines: Healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities to get precaution dose of COVID vaccine from tomorrow. No new registration required to receive third jab. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. NEET PG counselling for medical admission to start from Wednesday. Youth from Indian diaspora has key role in making India a $10 trillion economy, says government on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. First ever Startup India Innovation Week to be held from tomorrow. Snowfall and rain disrupt normal life in several parts of Uttarakhand. 355th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji being celebrated today. And in tennis, world number 1 Ashley Barty wins Adelaide International while Simona Alep claims Melbourne Somerset title of the women's singles. As the number of COVID-19 cases are rising rapidly in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between the age group of 15 to 18 years, to get vaccinated as well. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID information and guidance, contact National Helpline number 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Administration of precaution dose for healthcare and frontline workers and those over 60 years of age with comorbidities will begin from tomorrow. The centre has issued guidelines stating that no new registration will be required to get a precaution dose. The eligible population who have taken 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine can directly take an appointment or walk into any vaccination centre. The online appointment for the precaution dose shots began yesterday, where one can book their slots. The prioritization and sequencing of this precaution dose will be based on the completion of 9 months or 39 weeks from the date of administration of the second dose. All persons aged 60 years and above with comorbidities who have received 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine will be provided precautionary dose on doctor's advice from tomorrow. All citizens, irrespective of their income status, are entitled to free COVID-19 vaccination at government vaccination centres. The CoWIN system will send an SMS to such beneficiaries for availing the precaution dose when the dose becomes due. All election officials and employees deployed for election duty will be treated as frontline workers and will also be administered precaution dose. The centre has already said that the precautionary vaccine dose will be the same vaccine as administered previously in the first 2 doses. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today chaired a high-level virtual meeting to review the COVID-19 situation in the country, ongoing preparedness of health infrastructure and logistics, status of the vaccination campaign, and the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron and its public health implications for the country. A detailed presentation highlighting the surge in cases currently being reported globally was given by the Health Secretary. It was followed by the status of COVID-19 in India, highlighting various states and districts of concern based on the surge in cases and high positivity being reported. Further, various efforts taken by the central government so far in terms of supporting states to manage the upcoming challenge were highlighted. Various predictive scenarios of peak cases were also presented. The support to the states to upgrade health infrastructure, testing capacity, availability of oxygen and ICU beds, and buffer stock of COVID essential drugs under Emergency COVID Response Package ECRP2 was presented. The Prime Minister stressed the need to ensure adequate health infrastructure at the district level. He asked officials to maintain coordination regarding this with the states. The presentation brought attention to India's consistent efforts towards the vaccination campaign, with 31% adolescents aged between 15 and 18 years having been administered with the first dose so far within 7 days. Mr. Modi noted this achievement and urged to further accelerate the vaccine drive for adolescents in mission mode. The Prime Minister said that a meeting with Chief Ministers be convened to discuss state-specific scenarios, best practices and the public health response. He further highlighted the need to ensure continuity of non-COVID health services while managing COVID cases presently. He also spoke about the need to leverage telemedicine to ensure availability of health-related guidance to people in remote and rural areas. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia, Minister of State for Health Dr. Bharti Praveen Pawar, Principal Secretary to Prime Minister Dr. P.K. Mishra, Member Health in Niti Aayog Dr. V.K. Paul, Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla, Civil Aviation Secretary Rajiv Bansal and Chairman and CEO Railway Board Vinay Kumar Tripathi participated in the meeting among others.
Over 151 crore 58 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive in the country. Talking to AIR News, Chairman of COVID Task Force, Dr. N.K. Arora, expressed happiness that within a week, over 2 crore children between the age group of 15 to 18 have been administered the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
It's a matter of great pleasure, as well as it is heartening that till yesterday, 2 crore 30 lakh children between the age of 15 and 18 have already received their first dose. We have a total of 7.5 crore children in this age group, and we would request this enthusiasm and eagerness, and so that all the children should get their first dose as soon as possible. From tomorrow, we are starting precautionary dose for beneficiaries, health providers and the other frontline workers.
Actor Shivaji Satam, best known for his role as ACP Pradyuman on the popular TV series CID, also appealed people to get vaccinated.
I have taken both the anti-corona vaccine doses. If you have not, then please take the vaccines at the earliest. After vaccination, please constantly use a mask, wash your hands clean on a regular basis and maintain social distancing. Let us all come together and make our country, India, corona-free.
Meanwhile, a total of 1,59,632 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 96.98%. A total of 3,623 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far. The Rajya Sabha Secretariat has restricted staff attendance in view of the rising COVID-19 cases. 50% officials and staff below the rank of Under Secretary have been directed to work from home till the end of this month. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has reviewed the situation and directed that necessary measures be taken to contain the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, around 400 Parliament staff members have been reportedly tested positive for COVID-19 between 4th and 8th of this month.
Minister of State in PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh, has said that pregnant women employees and Divyang employees have been exempted from attending office due to rising COVID cases. Briefing about the guidelines issued by the Department of Personnel and Training in the wake of the third wave of the pandemic, Dr. Singh said pregnant women and Divyang employees will be required to remain available and work from home. He added that all officials and staff living in the containment zone shall also be exempted from coming to office till the time the containment zone is denotified. The minister said that the physical attendance of government servants below the level of Under Secretary has been restricted to 50% of the actual strength, and the remaining 50% will work from home. In view of the rising COVID-19 cases across Himachal Pradesh, the state government has imposed further restrictions to curb the spread of the infection. In a fresh order released today, the state government imposed a total ban on community kitchens and dhams in the state. All religious and social gatherings have been completely banned in the state till further orders. All government offices will remain closed on weekends and will function on working days with 50% staff capacity. The order will remain in effect till the 24th of January.
Maharashtra government has issued revised COVID restrictions for gyms and saloons. It will be effective from tomorrow midnight. The order issued by the state government said that only those activities that do not require removal of masks by anyone shall be allowed. Hair-cutting salons and gyms will be allowed to remain open with 50% capacity. Only fully vaccinated persons can use salon and gym services. The staff engaged in these services should be fully vaccinated. Earlier, the state government yesterday announced stringent measures in the state, including night curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. No movement of people on roads is allowed during the curfew hours except for essential purposes. In Jammu and Kashmir, the beating retreat ceremony of BSF held every weekend at Suchetgarh border outpost on the international border in Arispura sector has been suspended till further orders owing to a surge in coronavirus cases. The ceremony was launched in October last year as part of the Border Tourism Promotion Program.
In our bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Anjan Trikha, Professor of AIIMS in New Delhi, will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said that the counselling for medical admissions under the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test Postgraduate NEET PG will begin from Wednesday. In a tweet, Mr. Mandavia said, following the order of the Supreme Court and the assurance given by the Health Ministry to the resident doctors, Medical Counselling Committee will start the counselling from 12th of January. He said this will give more strength to the country in the fight against corona.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities to get precaution dose of COVID vaccine from tomorrow. No new registration required to receive third jab. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. NEET PG counselling for medical admissions to start from Wednesday. Youth from Indian diaspora has key role in making India a $10 trillion economy, says government on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. First ever Startup India Innovation Week to be held from tomorrow. Snowfall and rain disrupt normal life in several parts of Uttarakhand. 355th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji being celebrated today. And in tennis, world number 1 Ashley Barty wins Adelaide International, while Simona Alep claims Melbourne's Somerset title of women's singles. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Today is Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. It was on this day in 1915 that Mahatma Gandhi, the greatest Pravasi Bharatiya, returned to India. India is proud of its largest diaspora across the globe, which consists of around 31 million people. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted people, especially the Indian diaspora, on the day. Mr. Naidu urged non-resident Indians to redouble their efforts in contributing for the growth and development of India. The Prime Minister said that Indian diaspora has distinguished itself all over the world and has excelled in different spheres. He said India is proud of their accomplishments. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also greeted the Indian diaspora. Addressing the Youth Pravasi Bharatiya Divas conference through video conferencing, Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan said that the youth, both from India as well as diaspora community, have made a remarkable journey in innovation, technology and creativity. The minister said the youth are playing a key role in determining the direction of where our society and the world is moving by bringing technological changes and using it in innovative ways. He said, as per World Bank estimates, India will be an economy with a GDP of $10 trillion and the youth will have a key role in it. Mr. Muralidharan said, from Sundar Pichai to Parag Agarwal and from Rajiv Suri to Leena Nair, several luminaries are proof of Indian youth leadership on the global stage. He said our diaspora serves as a bridge connecting India to the world.
India is among the very few countries which has an extensive and evolving policy framework for engagement with the diaspora. The priority of the government led by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji is to build everlasting links with the Indian diaspora the world over. Whenever the Prime Minister is overseas, we see a grand welcome to the leader and the enormous shower of love on him. It's actually the faith of our diaspora being reposed on India and their pride in Indianness. Under the Prime Minister's leadership, our outreach to the diaspora has taken new dimensions and evolved in a way where we are moving towards the concept of global India.
The Embassy of India in Beijing celebrated the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas today. The event saw huge participation by the enthusiastic Indian diaspora in China. Indian community shared their joy with Prasar Bharati correspondent in Beijing and emphasized their roles on being cultural ambassadors for India in foreign land.
Let me wish you all first a happy Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. So Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is a special day, as we all know, especially for us, the Indian diaspora, that have been living out of our motherland India for a long time. So this gives a very wonderful opportunity for us to get connected with our motherland India.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम अखिल पाराशर है और मैं यहाँ चीन की राजधानी बीजिंग में रहता हूँ और आज जैसे कि प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस है वो मनाया गया है बीजिंग में भारत के राजदूतावास में और इस खास पर्व पर जो जितने भी भारतवंशी है जो भारतीय लोग हैं जो चीन में रहते हैं वो आज यहाँ एकजुट हुए। प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस पर बहुत ही अहम बात है ये।
Talking to our special Dhaka correspondent on the occasion, Odissi dancer Dr. Lopamudra Bhattacharjee, who resides in Bangladesh, said she may be living outside their country, but her soul and heart always reside in India.
Wish my fellow Pravasi friends and citizens of our country a very happy Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. We may be staying outside our country, but our heart and soul always reside in our India. In this testing time when our country and whole world is fighting against a different variant of COVID, our responsibility towards our country increases. May the Pravasi keep contributing towards the development and growth of our country.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today spoke to French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian. Both ministers recognized that the achievements of India-France cooperation in 2021 are a strong foundation for 2022. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said the presidency of the European Union that France occupies adds an important dimension to India-France strategic relationship. He said India-France cooperation with respect to the Indo-Pacific has a larger significance.
Today is the 355th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th and last Sikh Guru. The auspicious occasion is also known as Prakash Parv. However, this year the main event being held at Sri Harminder Sahib at Patna Sahib in Bihar, which is the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh, is a low-key affair due to COVID. The entry of devotees has been restricted and no longer will be organized. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion. On the occasion, the Prime Minister today announced that 26th December will be marked as Veer Bal Divas. Mr. Modi said it will be a fitting tribute to the courage of the Sahibzade, the sons of Guru Gobind Singh, and their quest for justice. He said Veer Bal Divas will be on the same day Sahibzada Zorawar Singh and Sahibzada Fateh Singh attained martyrdom after being sealed alive in a wall. He said these two greats preferred death instead of deviating from the noble principles of Dharma. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Of them, the first ever Startup India Innovation Week that will be launched by Union Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal tomorrow. This virtual week-long event, which is being organized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, DPIIT, will continue till the 16th of this month. The primary goal of the Startup and Innovation Festival is to bring together the country's key startups, entrepreneurs, investors, incubators, funding entities, banks, policymakers to exchange knowledge on nurturing startup ecosystems. This innovation celebration aims to commemorate the 75th year of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and is designed to showcase the spread and depth of entrepreneurship across India. Minister of Heavy Industries will also celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav during the iconic week from tomorrow till the 16th of this month. The ministry in a statement said that it is focused on developing a globally competitive, green and technology-driven manufacturing sector, including automotive and capital goods sector, which propels growth and job creation.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
On the 9th of January 1915, Mahatma Gandhi returned to India after his successful satyagraha in South Africa. Upon his return, he was honoured by the people of Bombay at a magnificent reception in the palatial house of a Bombay businessman, Jahangir Petit. Despite leading an extra-constitutional movement in South Africa and defying laws, Gandhi received a warm welcome even from the British Indian government, as the cause for which he had fought appeared as much humanitarian as political.
Mr. Gandhi, have you refused to wear European clothes?
No, I haven't refused. I simply wanted to dress the way my comrades in prison dress.
Mr. Gandhi,
now that you're back in India, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
The British Indian government joined hands with the people of India in showering honours on Gandhi, and he was accorded with Kaisar-e-Hind Gold Medal in the King's Birthday Honours List of 1915.
Gandhi took his time to plunge into Indian independence movement. Under the guidance of his Indian political mentor, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Gandhi underwent a year of probation to understand the Indian situation and did not express himself upon public questions for a year. During the year of probation, Gandhi confined himself to the reform of the individual and the society. His restraint was partly due to self-imposed silence and partly to the fact that he was still studying conditions in India. After the year was over, Gandhi devoted himself to the cause of Indian independence completely.
Since 2003, 9th of January has been commemorated as Pravasi Bharatiya Divas by the Government of India to mark the contribution of the overseas Indian community towards the development of India.
We also remember Deen Bandhu of farmers, Sir Chotu Ram, who died on the 9th of January 1945. he sought to articulate the suffering of the peasantry during the British India period.
Chotu Ram came from a debt-ridden family from the area which is now in the state of Haryana. His area used to witness frequent droughts and famines, leading to dependence of farmers on moneylenders. Under the patronage of Sir Chhajju Ram, Chotu Ram completed his law degree from Agra. He joined the Congress in 1916 and was the president of the Rohtak District Congress Committee from 1916 to 1920.
In 1923, he formed the Unionist Party in alliance with Fazle Hussain and Sir Sikandar Hayat Khan. The party won the general elections of 1936 in Punjab and formed a coalition government along with the Congress and Akali Dal with Chotu Ram as a revenue minister.
As a minister of the pre-partition Punjab Legislative Council, his first major achievement was the passage of the Punjab Land Revenue Amendment Act 1929, which remains a landmark social legislation till date. The exploitation of the peasantry by moneylenders was brought to an end with a series of measures, starting with the Punjab Regulation of Accounts Act 1930.
The Punjab Agricultural Produce Markets Act was passed in 1939, which provided for the constitution of market committees in notified areas and helped free the farmer from exploitation. A consolidation of land holdings was undertaken after passing the Consolidations Holding Act 1936, amended in 1945. Not only were all these laws passed, Chotu Ram also ensured their implementation.
For his outstanding contribution to upliftment of peasantry, farmers rewarded him with the titles of Deen Bandhu and Rehbar-e-Azam. The British honoured him with a knighthood in 1937. We salute the nationalist and great farmers' leader. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago. In Uttarakhand, normal life has been badly affected due to heavy snowfall in hilly areas and rainfall in plain areas of the state. Many connecting roads in hilly areas have been disrupted following the snowfall at higher reaches in the state. The Met Department has forecast that cold days are likely to occur at isolated places in the hills of Uttarakhand. In Himachal Pradesh, the tribal and upper areas of the state have been experiencing heavy snowfall for the last 2 days, which has affected normal life. The State Meteorological Department has issued a warning of heavy rain and snowfall in many parts of the state. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have moderate fog. Mumbai and Kolkata are expected to have partly clouded sky. Leh is likely to have light snow. Gilgit will have clouded sky. Muzaffarabad will have clear sky. Guwahati will have partly cloudy sky. Imphal and Shillong will have fog in the morning.
In tennis, world number 1 Ash Barty has won the Adelaide International by crushing world number 14 Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan 6-3, 6-2 in women's singles final at Canberra today. In the other tennis events underway in Australia, second seed Simona Halep clinched the Melbourne Somerset 1 women's singles title after beating third seed Veronika Kudermetova in the final today. In men's singles, a 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal defeated American Maxime Cressy in the men's singles final of the Melbourne Somerset ATP 250 event today to lift the trophy at the Rod Laver Arena. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities to get precaution dose of COVID vaccine from tomorrow. No new registration required to receive third jab. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. NEET PG counselling for medical admissions to start from Wednesday. Youth from Indian diaspora has key role in making India a $10 trillion economy, says government on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. First ever startup India Innovation Week to be held from tomorrow. Snowfall and rain disrupt normal life in several parts of Uttarakhand. 355th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh Ji being celebrated today. And in tennis, world number 1 Ash Barty wins Adelaide International while Simona Alep claims Melbourne Somerset title of women's singles. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.